little film. We'll explain to you exactly how the transmitter works and what all the components are. Remy, could you run through it for us?
Yeah, well, this is of course the transmitter from the Robara, and as you can see there are a few sticks and knobs on it and just some switches. Of course the most important thing is the on and off switch to switch the transmitter on and off, and then we have these holes in it, and if you look carefully in these holes you have these switches that are underneath it, and you can reverse the movement of the servo with it. You don't need to do that because everything is already pre-programmed here in the factory, but in case you want to have the elevator differently, like reversed, you can always do that with these switches far down in these holes. Well, if you look at the overall transmitter, we have of course the antenna. When you're flying with the antenna, make sure the antenna is up a little bit. You can put it just in a little elbow. So when you're holding it like this, the antenna is standing straight up. If you do the really high flights and in case you feel that the transmitter is not very sensitive anymore, you can always point the transmitter a bit the other way. It doesn't matter, you don't need to. Well, next to that we have these switches, and these switches, they're taking care of the flight modes and the wing flapping. With the left switch on top you can put the wing flapping on or off. So if you want to push it on, toggle it on, you push it towards yourself, and if you want to put it off, you push it away from you. We always start with the switches down, so just push them away from you. Also with this, your flight mode, you have the beginner mode, advanced mode and expert mode. And as you could see in the other video, you always start in the beginner mode, and you just switch toggle the switch away from you to just start in beginner mode. Later when you're more experienced, of course, you can start in advanced or expert mode. Toggle them just away. Everything is off, it is in beginner mode, and yeah, that's the most important thing to start. Well, next to that we have the sub-trims, and with these sub-trims you can actually trim the flaps. And if you look at the flaps, you can see that I can actually control these flaps with this sub-trim. Make sure the trims are always centered, always. So if you look at your model and you think, well, maybe it's a bit like this, you can see that this flap is a bit more up and this one is a bit more down. Just trim it so the flaps are straight. With this you make sure that you don't get any, well, funny behavior when you throw it into the sky. So make sure everything is trimmed. You also do that for up and down. It's the other trim. And with the up and down trim you can actually trim it, of course, upside down. And then we have a rudder. It's this one on the back, and it's on your left stick. With your left stick you can actually control the rudder. Make sure that one is straight. Most people, they fly it in mode 2, and that's with the throttle on the left side. So this is your throttle, you can hear it. This is your rudder left and rudder right. This is your elevation, so push it towards you for going up, and push it away from you for going down. And then we have the aileron, it's aileron left and aileron right. That's pretty much everything you need to know. It's a 4-channel Robara, but if you start to fly with the Robara you can actually fly with 3 channels. Then you will only use the aileron and the elevation and the throttle. This rudder, that's this flap underneath the tail, is very effective. You need to be very careful with that. Before you know, you do something crazy low to the ground and you just don't want to do that. So make sure you don't touch this rudder, only when you're a bit more experienced. Then you can actually, well, maybe outfly a falcon if you're lucky, if you're good enough. If you want to do a crazy maneuver or something, you can do it with this rudder. But just for normal flight, young falcons, just to train yourself or to train the falcon, just use the 3 channels. Aileron, elevator, up, down, and the throttle.
So is this transmitter bound just to that one.
Yeah, indeed. This particular transmitter is binded to this Robara. We already do this in the factory. So when a customer is taking the Robara out of the box, it is bound to their transmitter and no one else can control the Robara with a different transmitter.
Okay, so if you're out with your friends and you've all got transmitters, you can write your name on yours.
Yeah, indeed. We have a little...
Otherwise, you'll pick up the wrong transmitter and wonder...
Oh yeah, it happens a lot between us two. No, the problem is they all look the same indeed. So sometimes you pick up another one, and the problem is that I'm flying in mode 1, so my throttle is on the right. So in case someone else wants to fly with my transmitter and they don't notice that, then they just want to give up, but they give, well, full down pretty much. Or, well, it's just the other way around. It's reversed. So make sure that, well, you pick up a mode 2 transmitter and just put your name here in the empty box. Well, next to that we have these switches, and these switches, they're taking care of the flight modes and the wing flapping. With the left switch on top, you can put the wing flapping on or off. So if you want to push it on, toggle it on, you push it towards yourself. And if you want to put it off, you push it away from you. We always start with the switches down, so just push them away from you. Also with this, your flight mode, you have the beginner mode, advanced mode and expert mode. And as you could see in the other video, you always start in the beginner mode. And you just switch toggle the switch away from you to just start in beginner mode. Later when you're more experienced, of course, you can start in advanced or expert mode. Toggle them just away. Everything is off, it is in beginner mode, and yeah, that's the most important thing to start. So next to that, we have this bag. You can see there are just 8 pen lights in them, just AA batteries. And the nice thing about this is that you can always change it. You don't need to charge your battery, and that's why we did this. You can always carry a pack of AA batteries with you, and in case it's needed, you just change them. And it's really easily, and they will last for a long time.
They last a long time, don't they?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you're out with your friends and you've all got transmitters, you can write your name on yours.
Yeah, indeed. We have a little...
Otherwise, you'll pick up the wrong transmitter and wonder...
Oh yeah, it happens a lot between us two. No, the problem is they all look the same indeed. So sometimes you pick up another one, and the problem is that I'm flying in mode 1, so my throttle is on the right. So in case someone else wants to fly with my transmitter and they don't notice that, then they just want to give up, but they give, well, full down pretty much. Or, well, it's just the other way around. It's reversed. So make sure that, well, you pick up a mode 2 transmitter and just put your name here in the empty box.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.